to the IEEE online presentation of the importance of non-patent literature in IP searches. I'm Angela Trilli, Associate Director for Strategic Products at IEEE, and I'm moderator for today's session. Before we started, I wanted to cover a few housekeeping items. While all phone lines are muted, we encourage questions to be asked throughout the presentation by typing them into the chat box. We plan for questions at the end, and we will try to answer as many questions as possible. But if you do not get to your question, we'll contact you directly with the answer after the presentation. An version of this presentation will be available for viewing in about 48 hours, and you'll be notified via email when it's available. I'm our main presenter for today, Esther Lukacs, IEEE Client Services Manager. She's with IEEE customers located in Europe and Israel, and has more than 15 years experience in the information industry. Joining IEEE in 2013, she now offers free online or on-site seminars training the user communities, including librarians, engineers, researchers, students, and faculty. Esther, you can take it away.
Thank you very much for joining today. Let's start with the introduction of the organization we were. So IEEE is with its stated core purpose to foster technological innovation and excellence for the benefit of humanity. IEEE is one of the foremost publishers of scientific journals. There are top-cited publication in their fields according to Private Analytics Journal Citation Report database, which is published every year as part of Web of Science. In fact, the IEEE publishes nearly a third of the world's technical literature in the disciplines of electrical engineering, electronics, and computer science. So IEEE is publishing journals and magazines, also open access journals and magazines. We also publish in our digital library conference proceedings and the IEEE technical standards. These publications are hosted in IEEE Explorer together with the publications of some important publishers like the IET from the UK or the Society of Motion Picture Television Engineers, and e-book publications from MIT Press, Wiley, Morgan, and Claypool. We would like to discuss, or I would like to talk about, especially about the importance of this kind of publications, or these publications on the patenting process. So at the beginning, we will discuss what actually non-patent literature means. I'll try to show you some examples to show the impact of this literature. I will also present some options how you can search non-patent literature best, and the non-patent literature could help you in the patenting process. So before we start, let's discuss actually what prior art means. So when an inventor files a patent for a new invention, he or she will typically reference prior documents to show that the new invention are built upon or improves upon what came earlier. On screen, you see an example from it's actually a screenshot from a European patent. You see there are different kind of citations. You see patent citations marked in red. And next to PL, non-patent literature citation, you see two different kind of lists. One has been submitted by the applicant, and for additional non-patent literature citation has been identified during the examination phase. You see in this example that approximately half of the citations in this patent are coming from non-patent literature. So the inventors patent attorney and the examiner also adding prior art references to either clarify or limit the claims of the invention. Basically, when you see on IEEE Explorer, you can even find published by Nikola Tesla at the end of the 19th century, which are still cited, the way I like in the previous example, in patents, mainly in telecommunications. Very interesting. Even nowadays, they are cited as prior art. Patent filing statistics and research paper publications are on an unstoppable upward trend worldwide. There are millions of articles published and they are available online. All this innovative activity also means that there is an unprecedented abundance of information available. This comes in the form of both patent documentation and non-patent literature. The very high cost of R&D, research and development cost, and patent filing cost, and to avoid litigation, it is very important that you include the non-patent literature into your IP search. It has typically been unappreciated during the patenting process. The information it contains is critical to your patent strategy, patent applications, and defending your intellectual property rights. Let's also look on what prior art includes. It comes in different forms. It includes patent documentations and non-patent literature, such as published disclosures, academic and scientific papers, technical standards, and other prior art documents. All of it needs to be navigated by IP professionals in order to mitigate IP risk and maximize the potential market for their innovations. So for analysis and understanding of this wealth of information can also open up a whole host of strategic opportunities, such as co-development and additional revenue stream through licensing. IEEE science is a significant part of this prior art. In fact, IEEE published, as I mentioned, a near third of the world's technical literature in the disciplines of electrical engineering, computer science, and electronics. And part of these literature are conference papers. Us, IEEE is sponsoring more than 1,700 conferences focused on specific technical areas. In the non-patent literature, we could check the impact of this literature, measuring the citation to this literature in patents. Study commissioned by IEEE in 2019 identified top companies with the most patents in the United States. These had altogether more than 900,000 issued patents in 2018, containing more than 700,000 literature references. And see the numbers from those patents or those companies in 2010. So we see an increase in the number of patents, almost doubled, but the citations to patent literature has actually almost tripled during the same time. So this maybe convince you, shows clearly that incorporating non-patent literature in your IP searches is becoming more and more critical. And if we compare the citations, same citations, which publishers are those citations coming from, you see that in these patents, IEEE publications are cited 3 times more often than on any other publisher. And you see that on second place is also a non-profit association, as scientific and membership association. Okay, so look on sources of non-patent literature. We that 50% of non-patent literature citations in USPTO patents and 64% of citations in European patents come from scientific journals. So it shows us that scientific articles, along with conference proceedings and technical standards and other forms of non-patent literature, contain a wealth of information, important data crucial to your IP search strategies. How could this information be used in IP research? Prior art is proven to be the most productive step before approaching the patent office for a patent. Getting a patent is not easy. A lot of money is spent on research and development and the form of fees for filling application and examination, besides the most valuable time spent in prosecution. Every individual must assert on 3 important rules for getting a patent: are industry application, novelty, and non-obviousness. How large amount of literature related to patents, and a patent service provider must be able to figure out these rules on the life of the invention. Discovery of relevant prior art that predates an invention indicates that the invention is not novel, which means it cannot be patented. Also provide grounds for invalidation. If a patent has already been granted or the examination process in the European Union, a third party can use the non-patent literature to invalidate claims or part of the claims of the patents. Okay, so per idea is not exactly novel, but when combined it with someone else's work, it has groundbreaking potential. Which path to follow, or if you would like to avoid you start research which has already been published, non-literature can support you. Also, identify trends in non-patent literature in specific technology areas, along with gaps. You find this information on non-patent literature. Literature can also produce useful insights for competitive intelligence, market positioning, research direction, and investment prospecting even. This non-patent literature helps identify key competitors in the domain and market giants with products similar to your invention. Non-literature also helps to find different application areas of the invention and potential research scholars who can collaborate with you in proceeding further with your invention. And it can even identify any mishaps that may arise, such as the publishing of your invention in a journal without your consent. An understanding of what the non-patent literature is telling you can also strengthen your IP strategy to include co-development or founding new revenue streams through licensing. You just need to find the relevant literature. Now that we discussed the importance, let us check how we can best search this information. On the screen are very complex Boolean query with several Boolean and proximity operators, filters, and so on. Boolean and keyword searching still well and will continue to be part of the patent product ecosystem. But isn't Boolean enough? Very complex and complicated. And this on the screen. Boolean is based on predefined data sets and logical operators. Boolean with structured text, which keeps information in technology silos. The problems with this kind of searching is that terms have to be updated and not take into account the changing meaning of words found in today's technologies. With semantic search built on a neural network machine learning technology, requests can be based on meaning rather than words alone. An inner search has the ability to overcome ambiguities in ordinary and or natural language, and there's far more relevant set of results, as well as cutting out noise and false positives that can be returned by purely keyword searches. We support Bool searches in IEEE Explore. You see a screenshot from our command search, where you can search the full text of the IEEE publications. Last year, we increased the maximum number of search terms. You can search up to 40 terms currently, and you can use Boolean and also proximity operators. So this is available. Maybe the future, maybe some of you are already using this, so-called APIs, Application Programming Interface. IEEE Explore has already an API interface for metadata and DOI numbers developed. You can check this out, and you can test it also freely. So this is a way to search the metadata of IEEE publications via our API. And in the future, this will be also an additional way to do text and data mining. That's also another option we offer from via Innovation Q+. On the screen, you see an example for a search query, the same search query, which is described in natural language. So this is a very simple description of the invention in natural language in English. And you can search the same search query, search the full text of non-patent literature semantically, or decide to search the patents and applications on the same interface as well. This is a solution called Innovation Q+, which we will discuss later. So if we pause for a moment, please now think about for a minute about your current IP search strategies, and maybe you can ask yourself and answer these following 4 questions. Are you already including non-patent literature search early into your workflow? Do you check the activities of your competitors already? How do you defend your patents? And what sources do you use in searching? Regions. IEEE Explore is where our highly cited scientific papers are published in full text and can be searched. And same publications, the same full text articles from IEEE can be also searched on Innovation Q+, which is a patent research and analytical database developed together with IP.com, and search the IEEE publications together with patents semantically. It's a semantic search. And you see an overview, which we call the term cloud. This represents here the most important concepts from the result set represented in patents. So in Q+ is using machine learning. Machine learning is a branch of artificial intelligence that employs statistical models and algorithms to enable computers to become intelligent by learning from data. So this is a learning system. It is not using hidden thesaurus behind with keywords. It's a learning system. Run encoding on computer with a set of facts about the word and a set of logical reasoning rules for inference. Machine learning systems detect significant patterns from the processing of large data sets. Although there are many types of machine learning techniques, those based on neural networks have recently gained prominence and are delivering impressive results in application including voice and image recognition, language translation, sentiment analysis, and natural language processing. It applies neural network machine learning technology to understand the meaning of documents and queries. And this example, you see highlighted in red the keys which were included in the original query, and the blue one which the semantic search engine has found as other close concept to my original query. In Q Plus includes in one interface options to search the full text of over 4.5 million full text documents from the IEEE to with our partner with other publishers, and a global database of more than 100 million patents and applications. It's artificial intelligence based. It helps you with visualization options. You can pull reports from the system, and it also has a very easy to use interface at the same. I would like to highlight from this tool the semantic map. You can use the semantic map. You see on the right-hand side a cluster of documents organized in honeycombs. You can choose the publications, non-patent literature, or the patents and applications to highlight them. And they are clusters organized based on the semantic relatedness of documents to each other. And there are new highlights here as well that you can hide on the same map, the tiny names, the different CPC, IPC classifications, and very new, you can also highlight the authors from the non-patent literature and the affiliations of those articles as well, on those authors as well. Just as the key points again. So non-patent literature is very critical for determining patentability, and especially scientific journals are very important component of this procedure. IEEE content has a big impact on new technologies, and it's important to be regular research during the patent process, including non-patent literature into the IP research will allow you to see the big picture of the technology landscape. Use artificial intelligence searching capabilities to complement the traditional keyword searching. Combination of IEEE Explorer and Innovation Q Plus with artificial intelligence-based searching within the full text articles give you access to content cited 3 times more often in patents than any other publisher. We have, I think, questions, right?
Esther, that was a really great presentation. I really appreciate that. And yes, we definitely have some time for questions. If anybody has any questions, they can type them into the chat box or the Q&A area. We'd be happy to answer them. If you're interested in learning more about Innovation Q Plus, this week for free trials and can do a full demonstration for you. You can just type that into the chat. We'll be happy to contact you after the presentation, or you can contact us at the below email address as well. So let me take a look and see if we have any questions. And I actually have a couple myself. So Esther, you talked about the importance of the natural language search for non-patent literature, and because of the changing technology names and the terminology. While you specifically talked about non-patent literature, I would assume that patents, this is obviously very important for patent literature as well.
Yes, that is very important, because in some cases, there are very interesting patents which come from close industry or another industry which use maybe even different terms for the same invention. So you can, if you use the artificial intelligence and these searching non-patent literature and patents together, you can identify maybe and find some other industries which you already use some kind of close concepts. They maybe called it differently. So this is maybe another good reason why you should use natural language processing.
Great, thank you. A lot of sense. And also, you talked about full text non-patent literature. Can you talk a little bit about the benefits of searching non-patent literature versus maybe just bibliographic information?
So I'm sure many on the line probably know that the patent offices, they only search within the full text. It's much more, but it's the complete picture. The bibliographic data, the abstract index terms can help for, I don't know, nice for reference ranking in some databases, but to have the full picture, you have to search in the complete articles. You have to search in the complete full text of the articles. That's very important. So that's for the complete picture.
That makes sense. Like if you just search bibliographic information, you could miss something critical that's within the document.
Yes.
Great. And I'm going to give it one last call for any other questions. And one question here. Comment on the timing of scientific publications and patent publications.
Takes to publish? Is that probably the question?
And if there's some clarity on the question, you can type that into the chat box. But start about, I guess we talked a little about earlier in the presentation about how scientific literature can sometimes predate, give some hints at what companies are working on. And so
So usually a patent office would act the exact date when the non-patent literature has been first published publicly, online, or when was the first time it was published. And of course, if that is before the invalidity for a patent, then it is difficult to be during the patenting. Basically, we also had sometimes authors calling us to help them to find out the exact date, because if the author, for example, doesn't know that the article is published because he has not been the corresponding author and doesn't know how soon the article is published as early access maybe. Yes, we had some about this, because one researcher at Fraunhofer, for example, did not know that his paper actually was before he applied for the patent. So very important. The date the non-patent literature was published first, and this is clearly shown in IEEE Explore.
Another thing too to note, because that's about validation or patentability, but also I think companies or authors may not give away what I'll call give away the store within IEEE publications if they do intend to file a patent. They have conference papers are most times the first time a specific idea might be talked about. So even though they might not give away the total patent store before while they're publishing their articles, there's probably a lot of information from those conference papers that are early published versus even journal paper, but then even further out the patent publication. Does that make sense too?
Also, there are even companies where they decide not to patent because it's too expensive to patent something, and they go and publish maybe a journal article, conference proceeding just to avoid others patent that. So they have to decide. Sometimes they publish some technology which it would be too expensive to patent.
Sure, way of another strategy for protection.
Yes.
Sure, makes sense. A couple other questions about what if IQ Plus includes IPC and CPC. So yes, we have IPCs and CPCs within the platform. And for non-patent literature, we have IPCs that are currently going to be added to the tool very shortly. That's part of the roadmap.
Yes.
I'm just taking a look to see if I see any other questions here. Okay, I'm not seeing any specific, but if I didn't get to your question, we'll get to you after the call, since we're a little bit over time. But I really appreciate all of your time and attention today, and I thank you so much, Esther, for your great presentation, and thank you all for attending.